Yeah, rolling. Okay. Hello there. My name is Mike Graveline. I'm a local skateboarder here in St. Catharines. I started skateboarding about 21 years ago in the year 2000. I got my first skateboard from a local skate shop called Sud Skates. There's a lot of us that were influenced by Sud Skates as we were growing up. Locally, they kind of built up the skateboard community into what it has become. Yeah, I would say locally in Niagara, there's probably about 300 skateboarders, maybe upwards of 500, and it's definitely something that's growing. The idea to rebuild this skate spot here kind of came about last summer. During COVID, the skate parks were closed, and nobody had tried to build here for about 5 years, and it was all overgrown with weeds and dirt, and there were trees growing out of the concrete. It had just been kind of abandoned for like 5 or 6 years. There's a lot of other people that were spending their time down here. There's a lot of used needles, a lot of drug paraphernalia, all sorts of stuff that kind of was turning this area into an unsafe spot. And we took it upon ourselves, members of the local community, just to try to clean it up. That was our main motivation. This was deemed a heritage spot, and Knifeworks was the name of the factory that used to be here. It's the Knifeworks factory. So as far as the official heritage of this place, it's the Knifeworks. And then eventually, I believe it was 2007, the local BMX community started to build some concrete obstacles down here. A few years later, the city demolished it due to liability concerns. Again, they just left the grounds unattended and abandoned, and then in 2013 the same BMX community rebuilt here. They kind of expanded a little further. At that time it lasted a little longer. It's pretty crazy to think about. We started at the end of June, so it would have been the beginning of July, and then we built right up until October, and then that was it. We came back in the spring of this year and spent a month just finishing that section behind you, and then that's when the city came in and they asked us to cease and desist all construction.
The folks who built the skate park, obviously they felt there was a need for it and people were using it. But unfortunately what's happened is that they've built it on the public grounds. So then what happens is that because it is built there, it's not to code, it's not to specifications, there's been no safety. That becomes a liability for the city if someone gets hurt on a structure in a city park that the city didn't authorize or build itself. You're opening yourself up to lawsuits.
You know, we're not oblivious to the fact that, you know, we don't have permission to be doing this. You can't just go in on city property and build whatever you want. So obviously we weren't going to use any machinery or excavation equipment or anything like that. So we did it all by hand with shovels and mixed the cement one bag at a time with water out of the canal there. And yeah, with the community's help, once people saw that we were doing this, everybody kind of chipped in. And yeah, before we knew it, we were raising hundreds of dollars a week, and we were just spending it on more concrete, and before we knew it, we had poured 660 bags worth of concrete, which is about 50,000 pounds. There was probably about 5 or 10 of us that kind of took on this project together. So we kept a list and kept track of how much money people donated, And by the beginning of October, the list was 200 people deep that had all donated money towards concrete or helped out in some way. You know, even if it was just coming down with a shovel and moving some stones around, we tried to keep track of everyone that gave a hand. Nobody else really wanted to speak up for it. It was just like, you know, when they come in and smash it, so be it. We'll move on or whatever. But, you know, after we poured 660 bags of concrete and community fundraised about $8,000 and spent 6 months, you know, working, maintaining it every day, it was like, why let that go to waste? Like, we can make this happen if we get the support from the proper people, right? So that was when I kind of made the petition. Something important to convey is that, you know, it's a heritage site, and, you know, we're all local members of this community. We're all from here. You know, this is 100% a cleanup restoration project because we all see value and importance in the heritage of this place.
In terms of the skate park, I hope that the people that are involved with it do continue the dialogue, because we are looking to work with people who are actively involved in skateboarding when it comes to creating skateboarding facilities. And we had a couple of meetings, and unfortunately the park has to come down for the safety reasons, but I'm not sure when, but it's sooner rather than later kind of situation.
The city has made it known they want to come in and tear it down, but, you know, we're still ready and willing to work with them if they change their mind, whatever that means, you know, to satisfy their concerns, as well as keep this, you know, a nice safe space for the community and the skateboarders and bikers. You know, we should work together to kind of rebuild it to their safety standards and go from there. Like, I think the future of this place could be really bright, because if they just come in and demolish it with no plans, the future of this place is going to be very dark, and, you know, it's going to be unsafe and go back to how it was, and that's not good for nobody.